All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out here so everybody can get joined in. 1 second. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Today, we are going to continue our conversation and conclude our conversation on day trading Tesla's epic move with the CEO goal. So this will be a good one. So before we get started today, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So as we get started here, let's take a look and see where we left off in the market today. So the market generally finished green, right? The weekly chart so far is green. I mean, we finished red on the day, obviously, but the weekly chart is green. So we really want to see where we finished the week, right? So it was when we originally were talking today, we were a bit red on the week, and then we finished green. So we got enough there. Now the key is to get above these levels right now. Now with S&P futures down a little bit after hours, it all depends on what they decide to do. I mean, anything could happen, right? We've been down 50 points, and we've been green by 10 o'clock. So we'll just kind of see how they have that. But let's take a look and see what happened on the daily chart today. So we got a little bit extended, but not really. I mean, we've been working our way up here to let's say we've been working our way up here to all-time highs, all the time, right? So, but basically, it's been interesting. Yesterday we hit an all-time high, and it shifted our trend line over, and we were holding trend. We did finish with an upper shadow, which kind of means hey, a little bit of caution up here, but we were still over the trend line. And then today, with the futures, we gapped down a little bit. Now, the good news is, actually, we gapped down here, so we were about flat, and then we came up, we filled the gap, so we got its job. So anybody who was stuck in there had an opportunity to get out or raise their stops up, right? And then we started to flush, right? Then we came back down, and then they bought the dip, right? So we have a big lower shadow today. Now the range of between here is about 33.71 to 33.43, right? So we're talking about well, actually, we closed at 33.73. So we're talking about 30 points right there. So even if we're down like 15 here after hours, we're about halfway through this range. We may test the bottom of those levels right there, and then they may try to buy the dip again. Again, it's all about just trying to keep these all-time highs up so we can continue to keep the trend up. But right now, we're concerned, right, because we want to see if we close below today's low with a bearish candle. If we do, then we might start to see, these gaps start getting filled down here. So just have to be a little bit cautious with this. So tomorrow's Friday, by the way. So before we even get going, just remember on Friday, right, option expiration day. So just be aware of that. So you don't get caught, get assigned or anything like that. So a lot of times when we have that, especially with the theta being all gone, we consider trading next week's option. So something to keep in mind there. Here's a look at the price action from today. So here's it's a pretty nasty day, right? But again, it did its job, right? A couple different ways, right? So we had the 15 orb here, gave a nice little move to the upside, faded the gap, everything was fine, and I really like this right here. If you kind of go back and look at the price action today, you can see how congested we were right here, how compressed we were, yesterday. So it was trying to get the days straight here with Monday being. We started on Tuesday this week. So yesterday was Wednesday, right? We had Fed minutes. It was a little bit choppy, all that stuff. So just one of those days. But a lot of times, this compression leads to expansion, right? So we had this compressed move right here, and we held it as support, 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 right? Then today we gapped down, and then it came up back into that level as resistance, 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 and then we pushed down. And one thing I do want to point out is that notice the length of this congestion here is almost equal to, right? If I duplicate this drawing and just kind of shift it down this way right here, right? Notice, let's see if it's about that's about right. So activate the trend line, and notice it's about the length of this move, right? This initial move here on the compression. Then of course we made up for the move. We came back to those levels. So anyway, really interesting stuff. But this candle right here was key. This one just flushed through the 15 orb high and the low. It basically indicated that it wanted to try lower, to try some levels below. So we got to these levels right here, we got to these levels right here, and once we got through here, right, it was a quick move here. You got to be careful with that. That's one of the hardest things about shorting is sometimes when you short, right, it can give a real fast move back up, and you got to be careful. You got to cover quickly. So that's why it does go quickly. That we're going to talk about today. So these are the levels too. These are our intraday levels that we provide to our members before each market open. So just so you can see how well they were tested today. Really, the key one was this open gap here. And you can see the weekly S1 level was defended nicely, and we chopped in the close basically at a volumetric level right here, a point of control there. So some pretty good stuff with that today. So a fun day overall. So yeah, so let's take a look here. So we have so today we're gonna finish the conversation on day trading Tesla's epic move with the CEO goal. So what is Mr. Musk? What is Elon Musk? What is his goal? Obviously, his goal as a CEO is to bring the company forward and provide strategic leadership for the company, right? But ultimately, we know Elon Musk. And we know what his mission is, and his mission is to squeeze shorts out, right? And that is really kind of one of the key topics that we want to keep in mind when we look at where he's coming from. And I mean, he's made it no secret whatsoever, right? When he was trying to take his stock up to 420 and get when he was to get funding secured, right? It was all about getting that thing going, and he made that tweet with it saying, "Hey, funding secured," and all that. And he did that on purpose, to squeeze shorts out, because he's even said, he's talked about, he's had conversations with his kids saying that people who short our stock are out to hurt us kids, that whole thing, and has made that a whole public type deal. And so when he did that, his goal is to squeeze the shorts out the best he can. So no, and he's even willing to pay for it, right? So he got fined by the SEC, what, like $20 million, and the guy owns like 30 something million shares of Tesla. He's the largest, single shareholder of Tesla. So you think $20 million matters when you have 30 million shares and you go from $300 to $1,000 in like a month? No, it does not matter at all, and he knows that. So, but yeah, the guy knows how to do it, and he is a celebrity when it comes to stocks. And it's very, very important to keep that in mind, especially in stocks like Tesla, right? So one of the key, and is also very, very clever at marketing too. Now, whether or not it's been minted or not, with his with the Cybertruck deal, right? When they gap down on the Cybertruck news, really the idea is, on the gap down, it's like, okay, so they come out with this Cybertruck that is really kind of goofy, all polygon and all that stuff, and it was nothing like anyone expected. But golly, it got people talking about it, And then when they started getting those pre-orders for it, right? So they got the pre-orders for the Cybertruck, then, right? It continued to push its way up, right? And he knew that, right? So everything he did, really, to me, it looks like he did is basically a brilliant marketing strategy to continue to get interest in the stock, and to continue to get that short interest and to squeeze people out. So a couple real quick things, just a couple of what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a website right here. It's called shortsqueezes.com. Just no affiliation with me. I don't get any benefit if you guys sign up for it or anything like that, but I did want to tweet it out to you guys, or just put it out to you guys here. It's called shortsqueeze.com. You can get a lot of free information on it. You can also go to finviz.com. You can get some good idea there too, on short squeeze information. But I think it's really good. You can type in a stock ticker. They've got some proprietary stuff on there you can sign up for. But, if you click on Tesla, if you type in there, you click on Tesla, you'll see that the short percent of float is 16%. Now, usually, typically, anything over 20% of your float that's short, right, is pretty high. But 16 is still pretty high. Tesla's been as high as, I think, like 25% short float. And when we say float, what do we mean? We mean like the amount of stock that's floating out there, right? The amount that in the market, right, in the secondary market. So what's your float, right? So if you have 100 million shares of stock out there, right, and 10 million of those shares are short, right, then you have 10% short float, right? That's the idea. So Tesla being a 16% short float, the idea is that the more that and the squeeze, in case anybody doesn't know what the squeeze is, right, the short squeeze, that is basically, so here, where's a good example? I mean, this is a great example right here. I mean, everybody, we talked about this on the 31st. The entire market was down that day, but Tesla was green. It was that and Zoom were one of the only ones that were green, right? Relative strength, we talked about that, right? So a lot of folks are short here, but did any of them expect that it was going to gap up from 654 to 679, right? So another 20, 30 points up, right? So maybe they were thinking, maybe 5 points, something like that. No. And then when it did that, right, it just adds fuel to the fire, because all the shorts, the people that are short the stock, they're expecting it to go down, right? They have to cover their shorts when it hits their stops, or when they get a margin call from their broker, right? And then they have to cover, and that just adds fuel to the fire and continues to keep it going up. So not only are people buying, but the folks that are short are covering, so they're buying back their shares, right? And it's forcing the stock to go even higher. And Elon Musk knows that, and he takes advantage of it very, very well. So with the Cybertruck, just kind of going back to it, with the Cybertruck deal, right? He more than likely knew, right? I was way back here at like 360-ish, I think. Yeah, here. He knew that it was going to get the shorts interested in it, right? So he just lured them in with it. So that's why I think that when they hit that window on the truck and it broke, that's why I think that they did it on purpose, right? To get this thing gap down the next day and get all those shorts in there. He loves it. This is like one of his goals, right? So, and then the news starts to come out, about the orders coming in. And then look at that nice little squeeze candle right there. And he just loves squeezing them out. He loves to do it. And it's fun to see that, right? You have a celebrity CEO and you get a lot of momentum with that, and who's also very, very interested in the movement of the stock price of it as well. And, gets to very interesting stuff. And you get amazing moves like this from, 300, $250 all the way up to 1,000 within a matter of months, right? So anyway, that's the conclusion here on the on Tesla's epic move, right? We talked about all the technicals about it. We talked about the levels. We talked about everything, and then the importance of news, and then it comes down really to the CEO whose involvement in all this too. So pretty great stuff. So hopefully you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can. We'll try to wrap up as quickly as possible, as early as possible, so we can all get a good night's sleep and have an awesome trading day tomorrow. So Shirley sent in a few via email. So I've got the ones that a couple of them were a little inexpensive there, so I didn't put them on the list. But let's take a look at what we have here. So we have VTR. Yeah, so VTR had a really big day today. This is kind of like that LL1 that we pointed out on Twitter today. So, we had earnings, right? So that came out this morning, and obviously they had a nice little move off of that. So they pushed above these key pivot levels right here, broke out of the cloud, and gave a nice move up. So we usually don't like to swing right after earnings because anything can happen afterward. The analysts could scramble, downgrade stuff. So normally we wait a day or two to see if it defends it. But one of the things you can do is look for a push over the prior day's high. A lot of times you can get a move up there because anybody who is short on that often covers. So you can get like a quick scalp move off of those. So keep an eye on that. And then after that, yeah, it's generally Boros. That's a strong change of composure candle. ALB. Yeah, this one came up on our radar today too. Nice move today. Da, 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 da. And we had a conference call this morning. So yeah, so that was a nice move. Pushed through a lot of key levels right here. Gave a big move up, and of course it came into I believe some price discovery areas up here. Nope. We had a major pivot right here that it kind of came into. So found some selling pressure there, but still a nice move today, and bullish until proven otherwise, Shirley. So we're continuing to work our way up here. So you've got your upward trend lines, and continue to keep an eye on it. Good. And then low, yeah. So low, how low can you go before making a huge awesome candle that closed over, I believe, are we at all-time highs on this one? Yeah, I think we're at all-time highs on this one. So huge move today. They wanted to keep this one up. We like this one. We like how it closed. We like the volume. This is a beautiful candle right here. The only issue that we have is that earnings are coming up soon. So we just want to make sure that that continues to hold. But one of the things we love today was just the dip buy on this day. This is one of the biggest dip buying stocks today with a huge follow through on it, right? Hit the prior day's lows, basically even the pre-market level lows. Then had a nice bounce off of that one today, and then a real big push up to the high. So a huge move on lows today. So let's see if we get some follow through tomorrow on it. If not, right, just look to see if it breaks out today's highs. So good stuff. Trade, what's going on? Cisco. Yeah, I really like Cisco today. It gave a nice reversal. Let's see, CSCO. Yeah, so Cisco gave a really good candle today. Is it completely bullish engulfing? The low here. Yeah, so this is bullish engulfing candle, right? It engulfs the entire prior candle, and the real body engulfs the real body too. So nice bullish engulfing candle on Cisco. In fact, I like it so much that it's going to go on the game plan for tomorrow on the long radar. So that looks really good. And yeah. Fantastic stuff. So let's see if we get some follow through there. Additionally, it got out of the cloud too. So next level up is really, you got this pivot level right here. It's pretty close to the 50-day moving average. So keep that in view. So Claudia, what's going on? Yeah, Tesla. Let's take a look. So we just looked at Tesla, but let's take a little gander right here. So Tesla is a good one, right? So yesterday, it's kind of funny. If it closes red, right, a lot of times we expect a little bit of red. If it goes green, we expect green with Tesla. This is kind of what it's been doing right now. So yesterday it closed red, spinning top in the middle of this range up here. We thought it would get to the real body, and it did that, and it gave even more today. It gave it all the way down to the gap fill. So that was great. So it kind of did its job right there. Gap fill, filled the levels up, and right now we're kind of at that 889 after hours, kind of like about 10 points down right now, so sort of in the range where we thought we'd gap down today, and or we'd push down today, and so we may test these levels again tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes from there. And then if it closes green, who knows? It might be a good swing over the weekend. We'll see. SPCE, this is another good one too. This one's been pretty wild as well. So SPCE, I gotta look at this thing. Now I'm gonna pull up that short squeeze website. I'm gonna put an SPCE and just see what kind of short float is here. So guys, if you pull up SPCE, here I can give you a link to it right here if you guys just want to see what it looks like. So the short float on this one is 30%. So if you wonder why this thing keeps on going up, right, it has a lot to do with how much is short out there, right? So this is so again, it gave a pretty wild move today, but again, the more chances that this thing goes up, like, so let's say it breaks above today's high, there's a good chance it'll go even higher because of all the short float on it, right? I mean, because if you think about it, if anybody's short right now, where do you think their stops are? Right? I mean, you think their stops are at 50? Probably not, right? So their stops are probably at the high of the day or a couple pennies above it, right? So if we push through the high of the day, there's a very good chance that they're going to cover their shorts, right? And then get squeezed to the upside. So let's keep an eye on that. They have earnings coming up, and I know it's getting a little bit expensive here with premiums, but kind of keep an eye on that one too. So that's pretty wild on SPCE. Good. And then CRWD. There's another one too. Epic reversal today. Look where it went to. Came right down to this level and this. I mean, just like all those support levels right there, and a huge bounce off of that one today. So it's a big move off of those levels and came right to the 15-hour low and then back down again. So it's a nice move on CRWD today. And then pins. Again, it's still not breaking out or anything, but it did have a nice bounce. And pins is pretty interesting, guys. So this is a great stock to kind of keep an eye on right here. It's trying to get over these trends right here, but I really want to see it get over today's high. It did give a little bit of a push today. If it does do that, I think we can get to that 25.30 level at the 200-day moving average. So it could be interesting there. So good. And then NEO, yeah. So NEO. Nice little sympathy trader. This is actually really fun to trade, guys. The options are pretty fun with this one at this point. It's starting to get active again right after its big move up. If you can catch a nice move on this one, the options are pretty fun and they can move pretty nicely, for a cheap stock. But it's closed over a couple key levels today. It did find a little resistance here, so I'd like to see it push above today's high and maybe try to eventually target that $4.71 level. So nice. And Neil, what's going on? How are you? Thanks for tuning in, man. Chart request, yeah. Nvidia. Let's take a look here. So we got Nvidia. Nvidia had a rough little day today too, but what I like about it is it filled the gap and bounced off of it today, and basically it's kind of holding up here. So again, it's probably down a little bit after hours just based on the rest of the market and all that stuff, but I like how it filled the gap and did its job. Had some clean levels. I think over today's high, another push to all-time high could get Nvidia going again. I don't think this is done yet. It's got a lot of volume here before and after earnings. I think it's just getting some interest. So just the next couple days could be very interesting. It's starting to get tradable again too with the vol crush on the options. And then Facebook, yep. So Facebook struggled a little bit today, right? They had a red kind of hanging man the other day, and but what I do like about it is it gave a quick push at the open and filled the gap. So it did its job there, and then it kind of came back down a little bit. It's like, oh, I got it, and then it just kind of gave up for the rest of the day. So it's struggling here again. Let's see if it tests the 50-day one more time, and then maybe it'll give another move up to all-time highs there, which would be great. Apple. Yep, so Apple's just kind of chopping around, guys. It's in the trend box right here. So, right, it came out of the trend box right here, or the trend line right here, and then gave you that trend box low. So it still hasn't hit all-time highs to shift this trend line over. So right now we're kind of in that choppy trend box shenanigan area. And then SDGR. Yeah, this one hit a lot of radars today. Pretty impressive stuff on this Schrodinger. It's had a big day, right? So yesterday it closed nice with increasing volume over the day after, I guess it was IPO highs right here, and just kept on going from there. So it is what it is. So nice stuff on SDGR. Yeah, does that have options on it already? Yeah, no options on this one. Yeah, so just straight fun with shares on this one. So, but definitely one to keep an eye on. Good volume here. If it pops over today's highs, it could continue. Let's take a look at that short squeeze website right there, SDGR. See if it has any data on it. No, there's no data on that one yet. But cool. So there you go. Awesome. Great charts. Appreciate it. Yo-Yo-Mo, what's going on? Thank you. Yeah, RNG and GDX. So let's take a look. So RNG. All right, so RNG has been just trending up very, very nicely here. So again, you have recent highs right here, holding these levels. Looks like almost like a bump and run that it's been working on here. So gave you an upper shadow, kind of pulled back today. It looks very, very similar to the market here. Let's see if it holds. It got back above that prior inside day level. See if it holds those levels and continues to try to work its way up there. And then GDX. Let's see, GDX. Wow. So this is a great one here. So this is one that I put in a huge candle 2 days ago. When we see gold and the miners, right, start to put in really strong candles, we're like, what's going on here, right? So it's kind of like a hedge, whether it's like whatever that the big money sees, whether it's that maybe there were some indications that were overbought on the on the daily charts, on the SPX. So just in case, they're kind of hedging their positions with some gold and continue to move up. But it continued to move up with the market too, which is also curious as well. But it's like they kind of knew there's some volatility coming. We did put an upper shadow today. It would have been cool if we closed above these pivots right here. But I think if we push down tomorrow, we still may see some strength in the precious metals tomorrow. So good ones, yeah. Osiris, what's going on? Welcome back. Good to see you. Matthew, good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Osiris, let's take a look. So you got NVCR. So let's take a look here. So NVCR. Novocure. So this is a good one, right? So we've been kind of checking this out. We wanted to see if we can close above these pivot levels. We couldn't quite get there, right? But one thing we did do since the last time, right, is we broke out of this downward trend line right here. So we had a nice minor pivot right here. Closed above it here with some good volume and worked our way up. So kind of a bread and butter type trend line trade right there. So gave a nice mover there, came into some selling pressure up here, and then kind of got paused out a little bit. So one thing you can do is you put your trend line back up here, hold your trend line here, see if we break down below here, confirm below it, and then we might work our way back down to the cloud. And then CPRT. CPRT, rough little day today with some options or some earnings action. It was just just kind of chop, just plowing its way up, and then got a little bit of a shakeout right here. Held the cloud, held the 50-day moving average. Let's see if it gets strong, kind of works its way back up into the gap. Good stuff. Juan, what's going on? Good to see you. Hey, thanks for following. Appreciate it. Thank you. Can we take a look at Honeywell was good. That gave an interesting move intraday today too. We saw some great moves today, really. So doji day today, but the price action today was interesting, right? So it gave a nice inside 15 up to get out of our 15 orb, came down with the market and gave, pretty much most stocks had that type of shape today. But really key stuff is let's get over this congestion right here. We're in this congestion zone. So over today's highs, like a nice bullish close over today's highs would be great, right? And then I try to work back up, to the recent highs. Good stuff. And then Pepsi, yeah. So Pepsi. So yeah, another buy the dip scenario right here. Here's our trend line we had the other day. We broke down below it. So just like the SPX is we have our trend box right here. So let's see what holds today's lows and see if we continue to have some strength on that one. And then Intel. INTC, very, very similar right here. It's pretty choppy right here. Again, we tried to get out of the trend line. We couldn't confirm over it. Really want to see it over these levels up here. Oh, switch this. It depends on your chart. Really want to see it over these levels right here, but we are triangulating a little bit. So we kind of have this going on. So let's see if we can break out. I'd love to see like a breakout candle like that and try to work its way up. It's been holding. It's been defending its gap. It had a great move up on earnings and has been defending that gap pretty well. So let's see if we can continue to do that. Nate, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Seneca, good evening. TGT, glad you can make it. TGT, let's see what we got going on. Yeah, so TGT, wow, looks like a little bit of an island bottom right here. So after an island top, which is pretty cool. So TGT's been really, how TGT likes to go. It likes to chop around for a while. So usually it comes, it's when earnings comes, do things really start to change. And you can get, earnings day is usually a pretty good day to trade for Target, and then sometimes you can get a little bit of follow through on it. So right now we're just kind of in this chop zone until earnings, so just be careful with that one. But if we do get above this level right here and get into the gap, we might be able to see a little up move, a little earnings run before earnings, so that would be great. MTNPR, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Starbucks, yeah. Starbucks is one of the first ones to go down today. I remember just like looking. I was like, "How's Starbucks doing today?" I was like, "No," like it didn't even go. Like most stocks today were like working their way up and then flushed. Right? Starbucks was just like, "No, I'm just gonna flush." So, so that was kind of sad here, but it did hold some levels right here, but didn't get much of a bounce on it, which stinks. So what that means is, well, it doesn't really mean much right here. So let me actually remove that. It was from one of our intraday trading techniques on this one. So it's kind of the 200-day moving average. It's right at the 50-day moving average. It's holding the cloud. Hopefully you can get above that, right? I want to see it get above these levels here and try to work its way back up. And AMD. AMD is just too fun to trade, isn't it? Let's see. So AMD is great to the upside and great to the downside. So it's you look at today's action, gave a nice little move up today, and then it gave you a perfect, it didn't even, a lot of stuff was hard to catch, but this one was like, here's your inside 15, and then see ya. So that was nice on AMD today, and it did leave an upper shadow. It's still kind of holding its levels. It wasn't really nice. Did they downgrade this one today? Yeah, they downgraded it today too. So not very nice of them, but it was a good buy the dip opportunity. They bought it today too with everything else. So let's see how that behaves tomorrow. See if we got some upside follow through on that one. Trend line wise, right, we're holding our trends pretty well. I know it's getting a little cluttered on this, but held trend today too. Bounced right off the trend line, so that looks good. Good. Osiris, yeah. So, what short float did you catch? The reason that it's a short float, just a real quick definition in case you didn't hear me say it earlier, right? So there's amount of stock that's out there, right? That's available to trade. That's your float. So the short float is the amount of the stock that's out there that's being shorted, right? So they keep dibs on all that, right? Brokers have to know that, so you can cover and all that stuff. So the information is out there. We just don't have really ready access to it. It would be actually really cool, like if in each volume candle it would show you how much of it was short, how much of it was short covering, and give you all that information in this candle. But they really don't. At least Thinkorswim doesn't hold that data, but it'd be cool to be able to see it so you can get all the information. Oh, everybody's short in this one, so that's what's going on. But yeah, so it would be cool to be able to plot that. But anyway, so that's the amount that's short. So you can be as high as 50%. Sometimes you can even get a little higher than 50%. But usually you don't see that too much. But anything over 20 is a high short float, which means that if you go over a key level where you likely have any shorts have their stops, you can squeeze out of it. That's why we like to see those gap and go type moves. So and Tesla is an often shorted stock. And in fact, one of the things I wanted to mention about Tesla is that just recently, right, there's a major hedge fund that went completely insolvent, right? We're talking hedge funds, right? These are millions and millions of dollars, right, that went insolvent. They lost all their money, basically, because they were shorting Tesla and they lost on that last move up. It's like, who's shorting that thing? Why, I could understand like a little scalpy short like we did like last night, maybe get 10 points, but who's putting on big short positions like that? The thing's a monster. So, and like I said, we went over everything this week of why it had the epic move. You think Musk's whole job is not to squeeze those guys out, and he crushed them. So yeah, so that's short float. Cool. What's going on? Yeah, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Good stuff. Merritt, what's going on? Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool discussion to kind of really kind of look at like what happened with Tesla. So we're gonna save it as a series and we'll have it posted on YouTube for everybody. So yeah, cool. Yeah, Coop and Square. Let's take a look. So Coop had a nice move this morning, like everything. Things were pushing really nicely this morning, then it kind of pulled back, but it gave a nice move up this morning. Everything was really bullish this morning. Then it was like went into a brick wall today. So we're seeing that we saw this pattern a lot today. So ran into a brick wall. So couldn't get into it. So now it's a little bit complicated here on the daily chart, right? So we couldn't get above these levels right here. Now we got today's levels. It did tag a new high, right? But it's at this point it's kind of distant out. Is it a short right now? Not necessarily. We have a lower shadow on it too. So that makes it a little bit tricky. And then Square was another nice. Square has been just so fun at the open. It's just been just like right. So here's Square. It's like here 15 orb up. See ya, yay! Trading is awesome, right? And then it's like right into a brick wall again too. So we saw this pattern a lot all over the place today. Good stuff. And it's holding up pretty well. Give it a nice lower shot. It's actually a little bit stronger looking than that Coop, just in terms of the candles. MHawk 420, did you get your flu shot? CVS, let's take a look. Here we go. So CVS, holding up pretty well. Nice lower shadows right here, holding support. Right, it does. It looks pretty good. So we got a little trend line right here. Let's see if it closes above that guy right there. Gets above your trend line, confirms over the 50-day moving average, and blasts you out of the cloud. That'd be great. Awesome stuff. Thanks for tuning in, MHawk. ZEK plug. Oh yeah, plug was pretty epic as well, right? So I can't remember the exact news on this one, but it did give a huge push yesterday, and then a big one today. What did they have, like more solar stuff? Yeah, just anyway, just really good moves, and then a nice gap up today as well. So and then reverse. So anyway, but strong stuff. This is a very, very impressive 2-day move on this one. And why do we start to see this stuff? We look at the volume, right? Look at that big volume right there. Oh, change of composure, big volume here, change of composure, right? So it kind of works its way up. They don't put that type of volume in on something like this without expecting some reaction, right? So there we go on that one. MTN Zoom after hours. You were away for a few days. That was really taking off. Oh yeah, Zoom has been ridiculous. I tell you, Zoom has been super duper sneaky, right? It's been like we've been stalking this thing forever, right? So we had some great trades up here after IPO because it had a nice gap up and it gave some really really great trades, great bounces and all that stuff. And then we're like, okay, it's trending down, never got above this trend line, down, 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 and then it finally got over. It gave like a 1 or 2 day move up, and then it just kind of got choppy again. And then it got one more 2 days up, and then it came back down again. And it was like I just remember this thing was just taking forever, and then finally we got a nice candle right here, and then it slowly worked its way up a little bit, tried to get above these levels, and then it gave up again, and then it was like just through it. Like this was that one I was talking about on Friday, right? The same thing with Tesla. It's been kind of trading almost identical to the way Tesla was trading, right? So it had that, and then now of course after hours, well after hours were a little bit here, but yesterday was a big move as well. But one of the things we like, the reason that people are liking Zoom, is because with the coronavirus type stuff, it's just one of those stocks that's a good coronavirus play, because the worse it gets, right, the less people want to meet face to face, and the more you want to use something like Zoom to talk to each other, right? So that's the idea there. But yeah, that was the deal with Zoom. But yeah, big blast off on that one. Nate, makes total sense. Elon seems super laxed after that window break. See, exactly, yeah. One would assume that would be tested a ton. Exactly, yeah. I was pondering that for a while, and I was like, "There's no way he let that." Everything was orchestrated, that whole thing, right? So he wanted those people. He wanted those shorts to get in. He loves doing it, right? I mean, they could fix that, no problem, So it was just like, oh, we're down. Okay, now watch this, right? I mean, the guy has fun with it. So, anyway, it does make trading interesting for sure. Reed, thanks for tuning in. AMKR. Yeah, let's take a look. So, AMKR. Amcor Technology. Yeah, nice move today. So, kind of came down out of this trend line right here. Nice inside day, compressed range, failed to break the downside today. Nice move up. So, yeah, so let's see if we get over today's highs, get out of this cloud, and try to work its way back up again. You do have some prior resistance levels kind of coming up, but yeah, really nice move today, and good volume. And then XOM. Gosh, these oil stocks were so strong this morning. They were like some of the top runners in the open. And then they got then they had an epic down move today. I mean, but XOM has just been these oil stocks have just been. I mean, it's really kind of sad, right, to see them like this. It really is. Yeah, I mean, a couple little moves right here. I mean, if we can get over yesterday's high, we might move up to this downward trend line right here. But it's just been struggling. It looks like natural gas now at this point. So, really, really rough moves like there. It was, not necessarily big candles, but it's just been slow drifting down, and been pretty nasty, unfortunately. But yeah, let's see if we can get over these highs, and maybe it'll eventually work its way over here, get back into the cloud, and come alive again. Wendy, what's going on? Good morning. Hope you're having a great day. Hope everything's doing well and healthy in Singapore. Amy, what's going on? Yeah, 10. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so big candle today. Good move on earnings. Couldn't quite close above a couple of these pivots right here, but it was definitely impressive, right? So let's see if we can continue this trend. Let's see if they can get some upgrades and get over these moving averages, get out of the cloud. So, but yeah, nice start today to try to change things. A little change of composure type stuff. AM Viz, what's going on? IBM. So IBM is looking pretty interesting here. So it's holding it's holding the a couple support levels right here, and decent recovery from the lows. Nice little hammer right here. Let's see if it can get above the trend line right here. So if we get above here, let's give it a day or two, see if we can close above it and try to work its way up. And then let's see, Aqua, AQUA, Evoqua. Yeah, wow, great candle today. Nice move here, nice little channel. Right, nice little breakout yesterday. Nice push above today's level of those levels, and great opportunity, great move on Evoqua. And then nasty move after hours, but we'll see if that really holds. Sometimes they do that. It's like one tick or something like that. Let's see if, yeah, yeah, it's nothing. So I mean, there's like one tick down here, and that was it. So, but on the 30-minute chart, it looked nasty, or the 15-minute chart looks nasty. So, anyway, yeah, great move today. So, good stuff. Wendy, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, so let's take a look here. So we got Amazon. Yeah, so Amazon did a great job. Held the lows really well. It closed just below those. That close right there would have been cool if it closed above it, but it did hold everything pretty well today. So it's kind of 50-50 on the whole range. I just really want to see it continue to push, and if it can get over these highs and push over these highs, I think Amazon can continue to work its way up. It's amazing to see Amazon back at 2,200 when not too long ago, right? Where was it? Remember this? When it hit like this 1,300 level? Good grief! It was like unbelievable. Unbelievable to see us back up here, but good. Yeah, so let's see if it keeps holding those levels. Microsoft, yeah, Microsoft doing pretty good. Very, very similar candle to Amazon right there, holding these lows right here. Let's see if we can get above that little pivot right there and try to work our way back up to those highs again. JMIA. Jumia, yeah, so nice upper shadows right here. Or, I'm sorry, nice little fry pan bottom is kind of working out. I want to see it get over these upper shadows right here and try to work its way up. Now, earnings coming up pretty soon, so just keep that in mind. And then Shop. Shop till you drop. So Shop tried to drop today, couldn't quite fill its gap, so it defended its gap pretty well today. It's back in the congestion range here, so let's see if it continues its way up. Let's see if it closes above it, and then we can get our way back up to those highs again. It's like in a whole new world up here. Balaji, what's going on? Good evening. Yeah, Cyber, CYBR. Nice stuff here. Yeah, good push today. Couldn't quite close above these levels since the earnings down. My guess is it'll probably continue to chop in this range for a little bit. But as soon as you get a breakout candle, it could be interesting, right? As it wants, may want to try to get up with a 50-day moving average over the cloud and start to fill that gap. And then Microsoft. Let's take a look. Yep. So Microsoft just looked at it here. Let's see if we can close above this turning point pivot up here with some good volume and some strong candle to try to get back up to those highs. Joe, what's going on? Yeah, good to see you. Merritt, yeah, my pleasure. Have a great night. Hobbs, what's going on? ESTC. Let's take a look. ESTC. Good. Yeah, so a little bit of a doji here today. Again, we'd like to see it close above these recent levels over here and maybe give a push up to the 200-day moving average. It did fill the gap nicely, though. We still have that gap, too. So there's another level right here. Let's close above this, fill the gap, test the 200-day moving average. Earnings coming up pretty soon, so just kind of keep an eye on it. Good. Anil, yeah, so Wayfair is heavily short. Let's take a look. Which is a shame. Wayfair is such a good company. It's like one of the ones I like. Just like the practical stuff, it's good. I think Amazon should buy this company. It's great. Oh, yeah, wow, 32% short float on Wayfair. Guys, keep an eye on this one. We got earnings coming up on this one next week, right, on the 28th, and next Friday. So if that thing gaps, wow, this thing, even over this level, especially above this level, right, if it has like really good earnings or something like that, watch this. They can squeeze out really hard. Great stuff. Thanks for bringing that one up. Very, very nice. Yeah, earnings. There you go. Yeah, earnings in 8 days too. Nikolai, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. And ZK FCell. Yeah, so a lot of these energy companies have been doing pretty well here. It got a nice move up. Woo. Look at that. We did this pennant right here. Came up out of the pennant, had its earnings, moved down, held the bottom. Right, nice little fry pan bottom right there, right? Nice breakout candle right here for a nice move up the next day. So at this point, we'll see if it can form, like another, it looks like it could be a cup right here. It might form like a little bit of a, possibly work on a bull flag here. And then we see if we can get out of those levels and try to push its way back up again. Good stuff. Wow, great charts tonight, guys. Awesome discussion. Great discussion this week on the Tesla's epic move. And so we'll post it this weekend to Twitter and YouTube, as a playlist. So you guys can go back and check it out. Of course, we'll post it later on Twitter. So I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in. Great chart requests tonight. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. And whether you're new or not, we always like it when you hit the like button. And also, if you haven't checked out the links in the description, also check those out too. You got our Twitter in there and our website. And good stuff. Well, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. We'll catch you guys again Sunday night. We'll come up with some new technical topics for next week. Looks like futures are rebounding a little bit here, so who knows? Maybe we'll even be green in the morning. And Oh yeah, W has declined exactly from the last 6 quarters. So let's see, cool. Let's see if they can get above it. So it's good stuff. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate everybody. Hope it was a great night's sleep. And Fanny, what's going on? CRM? Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, CRM's been doing pretty well. So just a couple upgrades, just kind of working its way up here. Anybody who's been following me for a while, CRM's a tough one to trade, but but it's holding trend right now. So see if it can continue that trend up. It's got earnings coming up pretty soon too. So good stuff. All right, guys. Well, let's all get a good night's sleep tonight, and I hope everybody gets a good rest and for an awesome trading day tomorrow. Wendy, I hope you have an awesome day today for an awesome trading night tonight, and we'll catch you guys later. So everybody have a great one. Thanks, Hawk. Thanks, guys. And remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. I'll talk to you guys soon.